They're training us to be dumber, because right now we are way smarter and there's more of us than there are of them. So they rig education and make education different because they want us dumber than they are. They're only successful because they've made dumb decisions that have worked out, or they have got no morals or ethics. And they're trying to remove us by making us dumber and relying on AI for our intelligence. They're trying to remove our critical thinking and the promise of robots in the house and all that, because we will then be the subjugated ones. They can see that we are rising up and speaking out, and they know that if they don't do something about it, and they have been since the 70s, introducing new technologies into schools has made children year by year less intelligent and less able to think reasonably or use critical thinking, and they are more likely to follow a social norm. And that's kind of what I've been doing for my whole life, masking highly as autistic ADHD, unknown, undiagnosed. And I see that that's the mass, and I don't mean this in a bad way, please don't take this wrong. It's like a mass psychosis, it's a mass hallucination rather, right? And when you hear people talk about the Matrix, I think that's what they mean. It's the facade, the pretense, relying on your imagination. Think, what's the name of that movie? There was a movie where the monster was never seen, and they'd built up this monster so well in your mind that you didn't need to see it, because it was more, that would have been less horrifying than what you can imagine. And so fear is the tool, it's the driving force for everything that they do, is to have you fearful of your neighbour, of your strangers, of your workmates. Be fearful of everybody. Everybody's out to get you. Everybody wants something from you, and it's not true. I've travelled all over the world. I speak to all kinds of people, different languages, and I'm terrible at languages, and I know why now, so I'm rectifying that. But it's always the same thing. It's always love, money, family, responsibility, and a lot of self-doubt. And it's the self-doubt that's the killer, because whatever it is you want to do, whatever you think you should be doing, whatever you think your purpose is, no one else is thinking the same way as you. Everybody's looking through a different window, and they've all chosen what they like to look at. And if you're asking them to put their feet in your shoes and to have some empathy, that's what's being dragged out of us, is empathy. That's why we're being forced all these videos of children being murdered and genocide, is because they want you frightened and they want you angry, because when you're angry you don't think straight. You use emotions rather than your critical thinking, and that's because you've got your adrenaline, your fight or flight response going on. And what you need to do is take a breath and realise that there's people that are smarter than you that are not out to get you, and there's people dumber than you that need your guidance. And we all work together. You know, the trade skills person who has spent their lifetime becoming an expert hasn't got time to learn all about quantum realities, or, you know, they don't. So whatever it is that we spend our time on, whether you're housebound or, you know, whether you're neurodiverse and you have special interests, you got to remember that the more people that are autistic that you invite into your workplace or life or community, the richer it will become. Not because we know-it-alls, but because of our lack of abilities that you have. We focus on expanding our brains. And it's not, oh, I'm cleverer than you, whatever, because we can say, well, you're stronger than we are. We're supposed to play to our own strengths and work together for a common goal. Find out what it is that we can agree on. And when we find ourselves arguing about little stupid things like football teams or music or politics or anything that gets you arguing, just remember this: there's red ants and there's black ants, and they're all in a jar, and they're all carrying on as normal, and everybody's getting on. And then somebody picks up the jar and shakes it, and then they all attack each other and they fight to the death. And it was somebody else that shook it. That's what they're doing. We're the ants, and they are shaking it, and they're having us immigrants or pufters or queers or trans or whatever slur you want to use. And I don't care whether you're Jewish or whether you're Chinese, Chinese, Christian or Muslim or whatever. We're all human, and it's all silly ideals that we've been brought up to believe in that make us feel comfortable for the fact that we're on a rock spinning through space, infinite space, the cold vacuum of space, and it's just us, and we're fighting over the stupidest shit because the most powerful amongst us are the most corrupt, the most evil, the worst people. Certainly not who you'd want in control of your tribe or running your village shop, right? So stop arguing with each other. Zip it. If it has naught to do with you, or you don't like what somebody else is doing, if it's not hurting you and it's not your business, keep your fat nose out of it. That's number one. Number two, imagine that everybody is not out to get you. They actually want to be your friend. So that when somebody says the wrong thing in front of you, or says something that you find offensive, and you clutch your pearls, take a deep breath and say something nice to them and see if they return the compliment. Because it's called a faux pas. It's a mistake, a mistaken word. And we're all carrying jigsaw pieces of our lives. And it's when we meet other people, do our pieces match in some cases, and together we make a picture. But if we push someone away and knock all the jigsaw pieces to the floor, we're never going to make those new connections. We're never going to be the spores that share and spread the mycelium network, which is the network that runs underground, connecting all fungus, all plants, all trees, everything. It's their internet. But in between times, there's spores, and they carry information and they can recreate. And that's what I've made with FeelFamous. It's an outer net. It's online now, but you could have it in your pocket. And when there is no internet, when there is no power, and you've still got your phone and a power bank or a solar charger, you can turn on your phone, turn on your hotspot, and you will be able to broadcast your own outer net. And I've done this because, whether you believe it or not, Facebook, Instagram, all of them, they're all going. They are going. The internet is dead, and the social medias are next, because they want you within the next 18 months all wearing goggles and glasses and being force-fed lies and propaganda directly into your eyeballs. And the first they're going to get is our kids. And anybody under the age of 30 will be promised that if they use this wonderful technology now, they'll be all set up for the future. But what it's doing is making them dumber. And if they're all riding around on electric scooters, they've got weaker legs, they can't run away. I'm not joking. This is serious. We have to start talking to each other. And I don't care if you're a racist, but you are a nice person otherwise, and you're trying to learn more about others, and you're an excellent gardener. Well, let's talk about gardening. If I'm an Everton supporter and you support Liverpool, let's talk about how we can clean up the city a little bit from the litter. Do you know what I mean? Instead of finding things to fall out about, divide and rule. That's what they want. Start working together. You find something to unite over. You have common ground. And common ground and unity is community. And it all starts with a hug. I'm giving you a hug. FeelFamous.com, because I want you to feel famous, baby. Doc out. Bye-bye now.